I think a lot of people have been asking the question, how do you listen to your consumers, especially in this age of digital? And one of the things that Motorola has done is we borrowed a page out of Gatorade's book, where they have computers set up that allow them to constantly mine mentions and discussions about their brand and their competitors over the whole of the internet. And we've started doing that ourselves to be able to see what's going on and listen to different messages. And we've got software that allows us to find out when certain messages are starting to get to critical mass, positive or negative, and allow us to react to those. One of the things that we noticed was that in Europe, there became a huge, huge problem with consumers really frustrated with our company on our software upgrade system. There were certain phones we had launched that were not being upgraded to the newest software. And it became a firestorm, really, and it was going to get to the point where there was going to be a tipping point. And one of the marketing leads in the UK did an amazing thing. His name was James, and he went on to 2 or 3 different sites and said, "Hello, my name is James. I'm going to be online tonight from 4 to 8. This is not his responsibility. He was not the digital lead, but he personally recognized it was a big enough problem, and he said, I'd like to talk to you about all these issues. And it started out as we hate James, you know, on all the digital, and as he talked and he did his best to explain the reasons why, the things that we were going to try to do, asked for input on what was more important, this or that. And by the end of the 3rd hour, the messaging coming out of that was, Motorola is a real company with real people who really do want to listen. We recognize that there will be issues and that they can't always do exactly what we want. But the fact that he took his own time, came on, talked to us as a person, one-on-one or really one-to-many, was an amazing thing. And very, very quickly, that groundswell of anger turned into a groundswell of understanding. We were able to make some changes ourselves, but people started talking to each other about the fact that we were a different type of company. So listening was a great way of finding out where issues were. Then we took someone who was very proactive on his own, jumped in, and kind of filled the gap and filled the breach, and communicated in a way that really actually turned into a positive for the brand, but could have been a really big issue if we hadn't have done it that way. So it was on some Twitter as well as Facebook simultaneously, but it soon started spreading where a lot of other people were able to engage in a way that sounded one-on-one, but broad amounts of people were able to listen in and actually impart questions themselves into the mix, into the question and answer period. And then they started utilizing other social messaging sites and tools to talk to their friends about what they were participating in over here. So it was truly a viral program. It started out of just a couple of sites of communication, and then people started taking it to ways that they were more comfortable in other tools and other websites. So it truly became a viral event, even though it wasn't spread to every site simultaneously. Well, you know, at the end of the day, it's not just important for technology companies to be listening to their consumer. Every company in the world has to be doing it in a way. And listening, I'm worried about using the word listening because it sounds only one way, right? You have to listen to your consumers, but you also have to act and react to what they're saying, and help have a relationship with these customers. So listening is the first step in building that relationship. It can't only be you talking to them, but at the same time, it can't only be them talking to you. There has to be a give and take. There has to be some ownership of the brand on both sides, allow a benefit to both ends, or to both groups of people, both the company as well as the consumers who are feeling they have ownership of the brand as well. So listening is critically important, but then reacting and acting upon what you hear is just as important to build your brand in the long term.